February 9th, 6:15. Charter Commission of the City of Cotulla will meet on Monday, January 9th, 2023, at 6:15 at City Hall, 202 South Main Street, Cotulla, Texas. It's an open meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Texas. Notice a possible quorum of city council members. Maybe a quorum of governing body of City Hall present at the meeting. Those members of the city council present will take no action on any item and will merely be present and in attendance. Okay, call to order. Roll call. Down the list, it looks like everybody is here except Noe.
No, we did send an email that he was not going to be able to make it due to a prior.
Okay. Yeah, I know he's got a family commitment right now. So the roll call is done with one absentee that you want to vote and make sure it's approved or excused absence. I'll entertain a motion.
I motion.
Elsa?
I'll second.
Second. Thank you, Juan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It's approved. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States. Stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of minutes for the meeting held on Thursday, December 29th.
Mr. President, I move to approve the minutes for the meeting of Thursday, December 29th, 2022.
I second.
Ricky made the motion and Elsa seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say no. Minutes are approved. We're down to number 5, workshop meeting. The Charter Commission will conduct a workshop meeting to discuss and work on the proposed home rule charter for the city of Cotulla. The Charter Commission will accept public input and provide an opportunity for citizens attending the meeting to be heard. Okay, I do not see, we've got to have some extras here. Thank you. We're available anytime you want to ask a question or make a comment. Let me back up to where we were last time. You know, we talked about several things, and did you get my email
Yes.
with the questions?
Yes, with the questions.
I'll give you a copy now, just in case you didn't bring it with you.
Thank you.
I didn't forget about you. Okay. That might be an appropriate place to start. It's all right with y'all?
Sure.
Do you have a copy of the questions,
I have the email.
the email?
I did forward it to Steve, and we're still waiting response from him.
You're kidding. Okay. So, does that mean we don't have many answers then?
Correct. Only answers, ones provided in the last meeting.
Yeah, well,
Mr. Benny would need to clarify though.
Well, I think we can trudge along on where we left off, and we might have more questions there.
we will have another list just like this for the next questions.
So Steve will have a lot of work.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, since we don't have answers to these yet, we can discuss them all together the next time. Would you like to continue on where we left off last time?
If it's okay with everybody.
Sure. It's around page 13 or 14.
There, yeah.
On Article 4, City Administration.
Did we talk about acting city manager?
It was number 14 that we stayed.
Page 14.
We had spoken about 13 on C and D.
I didn't have any, my only question was on K on page 14.
Number 6.
It'd be number 6,
Ensure that the city master
Paragraph
plan
K.
is maintained and all changes approved by the city council.
it didn't seem like the sentence read properly. It just
Neither
didn't-
did,
Oh, yeah, it dropped off where it says
Yeah.
and.
yeah, there's a couple of them in there.
Yeah. So that, yeah, it's just a technicality thing, but I'm not sure what they meant to say.
You're missing, periods, and it's kind of important to put the periods in there, make sure we stop that thought. Because somebody could add a thought real quick to any one of those.
Right, all these are missing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it's a sub-paragraph.
Who typed it? Steve?
Probably,
All the words kind of jumbled in, huh?
yeah.
So,
See,
so I guess we could put on letter K, I guess what,
Is the and designed to lead into
the
L?
completed, what are the complete
Uncompleted sentence.
the per-
sentence? Yeah.
yes, yeah, that's all I
Is
had
the
there.
and designed to lead into L?
No, they're all
No, they're all supposed to be
in
separate.
order.
Yeah.
So it's just technical stuff on that 6. You'll notice on section 402, the city secretary, they do have punctuation that I would expect to see. Semicolons.
You took a break and came back. Started.
Autocorrect got it. Okay, but I didn't have any problems with it. Any other comments? On page 15? Moving on to 16. I didn't have any questions on that either. I'm not trying to skip over things too fast. If you got something you want to say,
Yeah, no, I
wrote it down. On 17, I did have a sentence structure on the first one, item number 4.
okay.
They've got 2 commas in there towards the end of that top line on A. Like they're
yes.
missing,
Something
one of
in
the-
between.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
right
don't
there.
know if they
There
meant
was
to put
something
in.
else, there was something else in there?
Yeah, if it just got skipped or they need to fix it.
On letter A, number 4,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
It looks like there's something missing in between.
2 commas there at the end. On item D, it caught my attention only because it's something we talked about last time, where it said the city attorney has to approve things. This time, it gives what I thought it should have said previously, where he reviews and provides legal opinions.
Yeah. That
So-
doesn't make
as
sense.
requested by the city council.
Yeah, so this makes some more sense than the
More sense,
previous
okay.
one. Maybe they can use this wording.
Yeah, the city's the one that ultimately makes a decision.
Yes.
Yeah, and then over here, I think it was in page, 10, I think it was, or something like that. There was I think it was under city ordinances. It says, where's it at? Is it 10?
Section 318.
It said that the ordinances shall be approved. There, it says the city attorney, it's on page 9. The city attorney shall approve all ordinances submitted to the city council for adoption instead of the city council approves.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Unless that's kosher, I have no idea.
I think that's one that needs clarification,
Yeah.
because, the city attorney doesn't per se approve ordinances, the city council does. But the legality of the ordinance, that he would probably approve it in that aspect.
Yeah,
If it's
It needs to be
legal for the
reworded.
ordinance to proceed and be approved by council.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
given the legal advice and then the council.
But that goes along with the wording here
the
later.
It would go more
Yeah,
under
the wording
bias.
is wrong, yeah.
That's definitely a problem here, though. Okay. Also, a typo or something on section 4.05, still on page 17. Number 1, it's the second sentence. The city council
May,
and then a comma. Not
Yeah.
before May.
city council may, yeah, comma.
It's no big deal, but they're gonna have to do it right. My next comment is an item on page 18, section 409, paragraph 4. Does somebody have something before that I've passed over?
What's the current one that you're looking at?
Page 18, section 4.09, prohibited activities,
Okay.
getting down to number 4.
No person related within the second degree of affinity or within the third degree of contiguity or any elected officer of the city or to the city manager shall be appointed to any office, position, clerkship, or other service of the city. No person may be considered for appointment or employment under the section if such would create the appearance of impropriety as determined by the city council.
Well, first, I don't know what consanguinity is.
Means
Especially by the
blood
third
relation.
degree.
It's,
Yeah,
it means blood relation.
Yeah, so this has to
Consanguinity.
do with nepotism within the city and staff. First degree would be like a brother, sister. You know, obviously couldn't work underneath a supervisor and their brother couldn't supervise them. Second, probably be like a first cousin. Third, be like third cousins, you know, further off or in-laws.
I think the catch-all would be appearance of impropriety.
yeah.
So just the catch-all would be the appearance of impropriety, I would
Right.
guess, right?
Yeah.
So it really wouldn't matter. So you wouldn't have to be by blood, I guess. It could be just maybe by marriage or something, and that would be
Yeah,
just the appearance of it.
Yeah, that marriage also, the first degree of marriage, my wife, obviously that would be nepotism at that point, if I was to be her supervisor.
How about her brother or her sister?
Well, yeah, her brother or sister from marriage, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this section here, actually, from what I can see, is following what the state law is concerning this. And it doesn't look like it's been deviated from that law.
Okay.
Should we have to, we discussed it last time, moral turpitude. Should we have a brief summation or definition of consanguinity?
Yeah, I think he's gonna make a comment on it when he gets around to it. Oh, poor Steve, he's not here to defend himself. Yeah, as long as number 4 is the way the state mandates it, that's no problem. I just want him to look at it. I'm not telling you all my different typos that I find. I'm going to tell Steve my typos directly. If that's all right.
No, that's,
This is not an English class. I happen to proofread and edit a lot of executive correspondence, so this rolls right off my lips. Any questions on page 20?
not myself.
I didn't have any. I'm just trying to not go too fast. Let's go to 21. I do have a question on section 5.04, election results. It's just a clarification, it's not anything wrong. But number 1, plurality vote required. Is this the way we do it right now? Plurality?
We have no runoffs. So
No
if you
runoffs?
win by one, you win by one.
Highest vote.
Highest vote gets it. Is that,
Sure.
I don't know if you all know that, I guess, I don't know if they already briefed you, the election is gonna be handled by the courthouse this year. And it's not gonna be held here, am I correct?
No, the county's gonna handle the ballot portion of it, but, early voting is still gonna be held here at City Hall.
Correct.
And elections will, but they're only gonna be in charge of the county, because they have the machines. They own them. Right now, we rent them. So Georgia will actually still do all the posting and everything that is required by law. And then voting, they'll handle the, I guess, the tallying if you say it.
Good to know.
Okay. Well, my question then would be, is the method of plurality the way the city still wants to go? Y'all like that idea rather than runoffs?
Yeah.
Okay. It's something y'all consider, that's all.
What happens if somebody gets the same number of votes? Two people get the same number of votes.
Flip a coin?
Then you have a runoff or what?
I would hope so.
That'd be interesting.
Arm wrestle.
Well, exactly, what would be
Sometimes
the
it's close.
procedure if it's 104 or 104? Is it a
I
coin
prefer-
toss or is it a
Majority myself.
pick the jelly bean or
Personally.
something?
I don't mind a runoff, but if they don't want to do it, I can live with it.
Should
Actually,
there
that-
be something in there
Is that
stating
something-
if there's an equal number of votes?
Is that
I mean,
something we
I
need
don't
to
know.
ask Steve?
Pablo brought up a good point.
And maybe that's something we need to add on
It
to.
could happen.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I'll address it just in the case of an equal vote for the top two vote getters. How's that? He can tell us what happens. I did have a question on 5.06. Qualifying of officers. And it talks about, and by executing such bond as may be required under the provisions of this charter. I had a question, who pays for that?
What section is this?
5.06, page 21. First and only sentence.
The mayor and
Maybe
city
at
council.
5.06.
The mayor, council members, and other officers appointed under this charter shall qualify by taking the oath prescribed by the Texas Constitution and by executing such bond as may be required under the provisions of this charter and the ordinances and resolutions of the city at the first meeting following the canvass.
The city takes it.
Are we
City
gonna-
pays those?
Are we gonna require? It says,
Well,
shall qualify if required.
Right. Well, it may cover it in a different part of this, but I was just curious who paid for
Well,
it.
surely the city should pay for it because it's a non-paying
Yeah.
job and you pay what you want to pay to work.
Mm-hmm. For nothing. All right. I'll just ask him. I didn't have any more questions on page 21 or 22. Do y'all? All right. Moving on to page 23, Article 6. I don't have any questions. Do y'all?
No.
Or comments? Page 24. Nothing on me. Page 25. I had no questions. Financial procedures. Well, I didn't have anything there, and I skipped over page 26 with my, so I need to read it a little closer. I got the next pages marked, but not this one. don't have any questions on page 26.
Same here.
Okay. Continuing over to page 27. I didn't have any questions on it personally. We'll move on to 28.
Sure.
I'm not trying to move you too fast is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, I mean, if there's anything that y'all catch it,
Yeah.
please let us know.
I think most of the stuff, that's the way it works right now, right?
Yeah.
It's just the law.
And it follows, I mean, like was said, it follows pretty much the state, so.
Yeah, this, I don't know, this came from the attorney, so it's gotta be in pretty good shape.
Minus some of those incomplete sentences, huh?
Like the one we're just gonna talk about now. Look at page 28, section 718, power to tax. Obviously, that's not a problem. We agree that they do. But if you look at the structure of that, there is no paragraph 1. It just goes straight to paragraph 2.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, maybe the first sentence is supposed to be number 1. I don't know, but they need to fix it. Bianca, do you follow me?
I got it.
I didn't have any other questions with 28 or 29. I did get into a question on page 30,
Okay.
Planning and Zoning Commission, Article 8. Down at 8.02 procedures.
The Planning and Zoning Commission procedures shall be governed by the provisions of the zoning ordinance and state. Oh, is it 1 or 2?
1 is the one that got me.
Should any person or persons of the commission have a conflict of interest, such person shall openly declare same before discussion proceeds, and such person is thereby prohibited from discussing the item or voting on the question.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me, but that brings up a question. Just because somebody doesn't say anything doesn't necessarily mean they don't have a conflict. Is there a provision here for others to be able to state a known problem?
Well, and I think it went back to what we were discussing last time about vetting.
Same thing.
And that's going back to that question, so I mean,
Yeah.
we can probably attach any concern on that to the original question that we were asking about properly vetted candidates.
But you know, this would be an opportunity for any person, another councilman or citizen attending, to say something if they know of a conflict.
Even though it doesn't say not that they can't do that, somebody is aware that they can just bring it up, but
Section 2.
I think it
Stated
should
in
have a
writing.
statement in there in writing, like you said. So I'll make a point of that when I send another email.
So I did get an answer from Georgia, which is the person that handles the election on the prior question. And prior to 2018, a person who went ahead and signed up to run for office, they did not have to disclose any kind of felonies or misdemeanors or anything like that when they were ran. Now, when they sign up for an election, they do have to disclose it, but nobody checks it or nothing happens. What actually would happen is that the contender that's running against them, if they have knowledge of it and they do a record request, then they could pursue it, but the city cannot do anything.
That sounds
By law?
good,
That's the law.
And
Except-
exactly, and we
except another citizen cannot run a check like that
Well,
without the person's signature to authorize said check.
so-
But if there was a check by the city, and that's part of the
vetting process.
signing process for vetting,
We're not allowed.
the city's got
Well, and see, that's the thing.
But the
If
city
there's,
can't do it either?
if there's legality,
The only person allowed to do it is his opponent?
Well, opponents
But
can
you say
do,
He can't either because
Let me ask you
it's
this.
restricted.
If,
Yeah.
if, let's say you have a city police department, would the chief of police at that time be able to vet the candidate?
No.
no, I'd probably get their hands slapped big time.
Right, so if it's a paid staff member, then obviously we can do that, or the chief could do it, or any government body could. But a person running for election, currently the way it is set up is, we can't do anything. So, like I said, the person that's running against them can do a record request
It
for
would
their
be a-
application, and they can discover it.
it would be up to, I guess, the individual citizen or opponent to do the
Well,
proper
that's
vetting.
why I would like to get this discussed with Steve,
Yes.
because maybe we can insert it in this document. That anybody who wants to run for office has to agree to a check, a background check.
Yes, for that we will need clarification, because it's gonna trump state law.
Exactly.
Oh, it does?
That's exactly what
Oh, so
initially.
even state won't let
And
you.
No. it's
We
state
don't
law.
want to go into that territory.
Well, that's why we're asking the
Yeah,
questions.
no, absolutely, yeah.
So there's nothing to preclude anybody from running.
No.
Without a check.
Obviously,
That's
if
why
the candidate gets
Santos
the
got
information,
elected.
the person running against
for
him
House of
could say it out in the
Representatives.
street. Hey, he's
Won
got a
the
felony.
night.
And the rest of them too.
But that's where it
Well, I mean, on the county level last year, we had someone run until their opponent submitted something to the state election board and had them removed.
is. Yep, absolutely.
Wow. And you'd just be lucky to
I didn't
find
know.
out.
It was someone running for JP, I believe.
Ricky.
I was just
Well,
gonna
and,
say.
you know, and like you said, that's why we're asking these questions.
Yeah.
They did.
But I mean, we can attach that to the original question that we were asking about vetting.
Interesting, right?
And once we get the legal,
Actually,
Answer.
the newspaper put a thing out on
Go
that
Yeah,
one,
it
I
was
think.
disqualified.
Yeah,
because I mean,
Mark
yeah, we don't
put it on
want
the
to
paper.
Trump the state.
But I guess as a paper, you're legally allowed to do that.
Yeah, they are. We can,
Am I correct? Excuse me. Am I correct by saying that also an individual that lives outside city limits cannot, I guess, sign up for an election?
That's
Being
correct.
elected? Am I correct?
that's correct. You gotta you gotta actually reside within the city limits to run for any type of government office.
And it has to be more than 1 year, am I correct?
I don't know the limitation. I didn't see that. in the
It does talk about a requirement like that in here. I don't
Yeah, I
remember.
think it's one
Yeah,
year
just
or
read it a
more.
minute ago.
You have to be a resident of the South.
But it doesn't say anything about who verifies it.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing, is that whatever address they put, we cannot say, oh, well, I know
Yeah.
you don't live there.
You go by.
We can't.
That's a shame.
But the content, the person that's running against that individual can
Yeah.
protest it, and you
Yeah.
gotta find out in the records.
So pretty much, I mean, the way that I see it, right? Because I don't know too much about election laws and stuff. So it's up to the opponent to do their homework
That's right.
on each other.
But in the
And
case,
then,
sorry,
yeah, go ahead, tell yeah, and then Bert or yeah,
in the
bring it
case
up.
in the past, there was another city councilman who did that to the other person. So is he even legally allowed to do that? Challenge what he challenged?
Somebody's got to be able to.
Well, and this is why we're going to ask Steve.
Steve's got some explaining to do.
That was just,
We just want to make sure that
I
we're
don't
doing
recall
it
the
right.
issue.
Yeah.
you were around.
I was, but I don't recall. I know there was one instance, but I don't know that another counselor was actually doing it as a citizen in the city.
Did he become councilman after he brought up the deal?
He didn't. So I don't know. He was here on, before, but he wasn't in any office at that point.
Okay, I think,
Can it be written
I
in
guess
the
it was Joe
charter
who brought it up, but Mr. Allen
that
wanted to push it.
any citizen or, any person, can challenge it or ask for that information? Because if nobody knows it, they're not gonna,
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Can it be written there
Add it into
or
the charter.
letting the people know,
This is
what,
only to add it.
Well, and
to the application.
yeah, this is why we want to talk to Steve and make sure that we're on line with the legal part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll ask that
Yeah.
in the next
Something to research.
email. Yeah.
Be sure to, you can
That's
tag.
good to know.
all
I mean,
us.
if I was running for office, I would never think, well, I'm gonna do my research on this guy and then bring it up to, you know, I would think that it was something that would have had to have been exposed prior.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can wait till a week before the elections, put it in
To
the paper.
avoid public
Yeah.
expense.
Yeah. Wow.
And you'll CC all the questions.
Yeah. I got you. I CC'd you on that one, didn't I?
No, but the new questions. That,
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll all get a copy of it. I sent it to you also, Ty.
I found everything.
Good. I did have a question about section 803, only in that, do we have a comprehensive plan right now? The city,
Where are you there?
page 30?
Page 30, section 803.
Yeah.
Comprehensive plan.
Does the city have one now?
We do currently have a master plan, and I'd like to say that it was approved in 2014 through city council. I remember it coming to council.
Is it even a master plan, though? It just says a comprehensive plan.
Yeah, I know, we have to ask. I've never
If
actually
we're
seen
having
it
the-
was approved, though.
We need to verify what we're asking for to make sure it's what
Yeah.
we're already using. Okay, I'll ask that question.
Section 803.
Yeah, section 803, define it. Do we have it already?
That should be in, Unicode.
Any questions on page 31, Home Rule Charter, Article 9? I don't have any, personally, just some typos. I'll tell Steve about the typos, but what about page 32 then? I don't have any questions or comments except typos.
No, I'm good. Time.
Okay. So page 33. When I say no questions, I just mean it seems good and self-explanatory to me. Page 34, Article 10, franchises of public utilities.
Article 10, that's 34?
Page 34.
Public utilities.
That and the next page deal with it. I didn't have any questions on it either. It seems self-explanatory, or else I was too oblivious to know.
No, typos.
Those are the last two pages, 34 and 35, of the actual document. The remaining pages are just, the signing, transmittal, and acknowledgement. So
Yeah,
technically, we've gone over every paragraph in here.
I haven't really looked at the questions, but I may have additions to the question.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll make sure to CC everyone,
Yeah,
including the city.
yeah.
But, yeah, I have nothing else. Time, Pablo.
Here's something else that I emailed Bianca after she wrote back about receiving it. Something else that came to my mind after I wrote that. It's not what we discussed, but it's a question that I wanted answered for our benefit.
I
To
read
help
the
us.
charter for Pearsall.
Pearsall has one, right?
Yeah.
I read the charter for Alice. Alice is not on here, though.
I just went through a lot of the names surrounding towns, bigger and smaller,
Yeah, like I said, I briefly read the one in Laredo.
to see if we're a lone duck on this thing or a lone wolf,
I don't think
or if everybody else, many others are doing it.
I think Laredo has to have one.
Oh,
the way
yeah.
they,
Oh,
the way
I
they
think
did their.
Steve talked about this in the very first meeting, and he wrote for, I think, Pearsall and Divine both,
Yeah.
this
Right.
same chart.
Divine has them.
Yeah, he gave us 2 or 3 examples
Well, I want to say
around
Pearsall,
here.
Divine, and Lidle.
Well, I want,
Those are the community said that he mentioned.
we want to know for sure. It'll enable us to say, hey, we're not asking the city of Cotulla to do something that's strange and unusual.
Right.
This is normal for several other cities.
I'm with you.
Well, we got a lot of reading to do from now until next meeting.
I'm not saying we need to read theirs.
Yeah.
I just do
I
they
just
have
kind
it?
of briefly, I mean,
They have
because
this
that's what I was doing when I read Pearsall and Alice's city charter. I was trying to skim over and just kind
Yeah.
of see what it looked
What it
like,
looked like.
the language it contained and stuff like that.
Probably Carrizo.
Yeah,
Sure,
Mr. Page,
I'd be
I
curious.
had a question on page 31, the one that y'all discussing right now. For the election, I know this is coming election in 2023. The position for 3, 4, and 5 were up. If they're elected, what are y'all's plans? Y'all's plans for them to continue the 2-year term, or is it gonna be a 4-year term?
It talks about in paragraph 3, they'll immediately begin a transitional phase. So they've already, it sounded to me like, thought about this. And it says, A is the elected mayor in 2024, May, is the first mayor under home rule. At the time of the May 24 election, the 3 newly elect council members shall be designated as odd year council members.
And it's a 2-year.
And it's a 2-year.
And I mean,
That's
we,
what I think he's asking him. Are we?
yeah, we
further-
didn't
keep it on
have
2 years?
anything changed on
Probably.
this. That's what we had talked about previous couple of meetings, that we pretty much, we're
Agreed
gonna
with-
keep it as is.
This-
We're gonna
Right.
keep
This
this.
does not make sense, though. Look at the dates on paragraph B, Bravo. At the time of the May, okay,
At the time.
they're looking at the potential adoption of these rules on May of 2023. That was up there in number 1. So they're assuming it gets adopted if this public votes it yes,
2024,
2023.
on 2023.
Okay, so you have conflicting years.
Right.
Well, that's something to bring up.
Because now you're adding.
Or an extra year.
Yeah.
So
So that's
the
why
other
it
votes
reads
would have been
3 years.
taken prior to that. Anyway, they're saying that the mayor elected in 2024, that's a year later, would obviously be a home rule mayor,
Right.
first election for mayor. But at the time of the 2024 election, the 3 newly elected council members shall be designated as odd year council members.
But-
And further designated as place 3, 4, and 5. So that's starting to make a little more sense to me.
The reason I was saying that is because a 2-year term sometimes doesn't give a council enough years of service and for their ideas to better off to do what they need. And I don't know, I'd like to see maybe to extend up to a 4-year. You know, it's up to y'all, but it's just a suggestion.
Do we list them now by place?
Yes, correct.
So would place 3, 4, and 5 be the ones that would be voted on in 2024?
23.
23. this May.
23.
Next month or
May.
March.
This May.
This, okay, well, that would be the same date then that the home rule would get approved or disapproved.
Correct.
If it's approved, those 3 council members elected in 2023 are serving the first year of their term during the first
In-
rule of this home rule.
Home rule, yeah.
Because the home rule would take effect immediately, is what it seems to me.
But yet he's asking the length.
As far as.
Well, they still get 2 full years.
Of extending,
It
No,
says-
he's saying
extend,
He's-
instead of
he's
2 years.
bringing up the idea that maybe it's worth to extend it from 2 years to 3 to 4 years. So a city councilman can actually explore their goals, because basically 2 years is not enough time to get done what you want to get done.
It's
Something certainly we can,
it's a consideration, but
We need to
We're-
check the other cities.
we want to make sure.
See how they
I believe Pearsall
Most cities are on a 2 year.
Yeah.
went to 3 years.
I don't know whether
I think it's always
longer.
been 2 years.
Councilman, or for instead of 2, went to 3 years.
well, yeah, but that was for everything, every year.
Yeah. So, well, and that's something
To
to.
consider.
Consider
It's a question to look at.
Research that
If-
in.
Y'all think we should do it that way. But keep in mind, we're trying to keep this the same
As original.
as now, as original. So nothing's hopefully gonna change that much from
But it-
this
but
year to
Yet there's
next.
we have, or the charter has a power to do that, if so.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, maybe 2 years is better.
Personally, I'd kinda like 2 years, because if you have 3, then you have to start taking into consideration recalls. There is no recall provision with 2 years.
Even with home rule, there's no.
I don't know why they said that, but they talked about that when we first started.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is because they're short duration.
2 years, yeah.
It takes that long to get it done, and then you're into his last year.
Yeah, I'm not against it, I just, as long as we stay, alike
As original as
with,
possible.
yeah, to this, not only that, but the surrounding communities. If we can look at how they do things, and not that we've changed, but at least consider it, I guess. I don't see anything wrong with going with, but yeah,
Certainly something to
Because the
look
mayor,
into.
the mayor has 4 years.
I'll ask Steve about the possible
The mayor has 4
4-year
years or 2 years?
instead of
2
2.
years.
everyone's 2 years.
Everybody's 2 years.
Well,
It would make sense to move the mayor to a longer term.
and maybe,
Oh,
Not
the
change
mayor.
leadership like so much every 2 years.
well, and I mean, not just, I mean, we don't have to do it 4 years, we can do it 3 years instead.
Like I said, it doesn't.
Look into it
I know we're trying
more.
to keep it the same, and that's fine with me too. I just, that's something that they want us to consider. At least take a look, see if anybody else does it.
yeah.
Compare it to what everybody else in the area does.
In the area
I think
does.
everybody pretty much does 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, because we see those signs go up across all the communities up 35 right around it. So.
Maybe if I was running for mayor, I would not like it. I kind of like it that it's just 2 years. It's a
Yeah.
good, it's a quick check on whether you think he's doing a good job or not.
Or if I like what I'm doing, maybe I should stop.
Exactly.
try
too,
something else.
also.
Okay.
It works that way.
Well, that's several things to ask Steve.
Yeah, well, definitely. I'll do some research on that myself and see what's.
Good, I appreciate it. And one reason I copy everybody is not just because you need the info,
It's good.
but you need to read it and see if I got everything that we talked about.
Yeah.
You may have remembered more than I forgot.
No, I mean, I'll definitely look into it and something to discuss next week.
I'm just going over my notes, and I may not have written down things that were important to you.
Chicken scratch here, just.
Well, I'm putting it on mine so they don't get separated and lost.
I make sure I check all your emails for typos, ET, don't worry.
Oh, but these are not going to be adopted. Yeah.
I have nothing.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Pablo made a motion to adjourn. Elsa seconded.
7:03.
All those fours
All in
there?
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Yes. We are adjourned.